gmail.com. Two Great Geeks.
Changing the world one post at a time, whether you like it or not.
As you can see, we're here going to do a video. This is going to be our C.A.M.P.Y number 18, class of Hammer Horror. As you can see, I am here. Well, my name is Louis Matos. I am the Mustache. And I am here, as always, I am here with my partner in crime, my PIC, my bestest, ultimately bestest buddy.
Oh, that's me? Junior Figueroa, a.k.a. The Beard, coming to you live from sunny Puerto Rico.
All right, so as we mentioned, we are going to be doing our C.A.M.P.Y, which is our classic archive motion picture yearbook, in case you forgot. So today we're going to be discussing our class of Hammer horror movies, because this month, even though it's Geektoberfest, we do a lot of horror.
Yes.
And we've been focusing on Hammer.
Absolutely. Hammer films.
Yes. So we chose...
Love this growing up.
Yes, and we have a video library.
Oh my God.
Yes, so this is our classic video library. And so we'll be telling you a little bit about our criteria. Both the Mustache and the Beard's classic video library. So therefore, we have to... One of our criteria, the first criteria, is that we both have to agree on.
Right, and this is one of the few things that we both have to agree. We don't when we do review other stuff, we don't necessarily have to agree. We can agree to disagree. And also, when we come up with like our top 10, we do it without consulting each other. But in this particular case, for this, we both have to agree.
So yeah, we mostly agree. And for this C.A.M.P.Y, there's a movie that we had originally chosen,
but that didn't meet the criteria.
It didn't meet the criteria, so we had to get rid of it and choose something else.
Quickly.
Which mind you, turned out pretty good.
Yes, it did. It did. It actually did.
For your understanding, we always, before we talk about the C.A.M.P.Y video, we talk about our criteria. Unambiguous criteria. The first part of our criteria is longevity.
Longevity. Right. And that's where the one that we had planned to use failed. It missed it by a year.
Yeah. So yeah, greater than 50 years. Each movie has to be greater than 50 years in order to be called classic.
Classic.
All right. And every movie should be exceptional.
In some way.
In some way. And we will argue
what
those characteristics are.
What's exceptional about it?
Thirdly and last is our paradigm shift. Each one of these movies altered movie making in one way or another. All right, so every one of these movies, because we consider them part of the essential movies that every geek must watch at least once in their life, therefore we consider that it should have made an impact on the industry.
On the industry, yeah. In some way. It might even be negative, but in some way.
Another piece of having these C.A.M.P.Y videos that we talk about is that we have genre classification, because Hollywood always gets that wrong.
Oh my God.
Because they try to clutter it too much. It's like, oh, this movie is kind of like a mystery, but it's also kind of like a horror movie.
Oh, I love when they put comedy in there, and there's nothing comedic about the movie
other than how horribly bad it is.
No, but let's say let's say somebody like Richard Pryor is given a dramatic role, right? It's a dramatic movie. There is nothing comedic about it, but because Richard Pryor is in it, they'll stick comedy in there.
Yeah. We won't do that. We're going to give you a genre classification now. Some people may disagree, but that's okay, because this is the Mustache and Beard. So this is our stuff. Okay, so it's a good faith effort. So understand that from the beginning. It's a good faith effort to clarify what Hollywood tries to muddy.
Yeah.
All right, and then last but not least will be ratings. We always give ratings. All of these ratings are going to be high.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Because that's what we're
classic.
saying. We're saying that these movies are great.
They're exceptional, so therefore they're going to have high ratings. So you should know that even if we don't say we recommend them, we recommend all three of these movies. Movie number 58 is Twins of Evil, 1971. Yay! Twins of Evil, 1971 is a British horror film produced by Hammer Productions. It is also known as Twins of Dracula.
But Dracula has nothing to do with it.
But Dracula is nowhere in this movie. I don't know why it was called that, other than to try exploit the Dracula name. And then to fool people to come in so they get pissed off, leave pissed off.
Yeah.
It is directed by John Huff, who directed The Legend of Hell House and other horror movies. It stars Peter Cushing. You know what? I'm going to repeat that. I don't think you're giving proper respect to Peter Huff. It is directed by Peter Huff. I know he's not Terrence Fisher, but...
Yeah, I was rather disappointed.
All right, so it stars Peter Cushing, which we did. Damian Thomas, which is another Hammer Films all-star.
Yep.
The Collinson twins, Mary and Madeline.
Yo!
Give them a round of applause. All right, they were Playboy Playmates.
Yes.
All right, so the story, little shorthand plot, is Gustav Weil, played by Cushing, is the religious leader of a sect of men who hunt young women that run counter to the established norms of Karnstein and are grabbed at night, accused of witchcraft, and burned at the stake. It's like, these terrorists are pains in the ass.
In old Gothic Europe, they had two burning passions: witch hunting and devil worship.
Practice the black arts. They worship the devil. They're all slaves to Count Karnstein, and he is their evil master.
Do you know what I want more than anything else? To meet Count Karnstein.
They look alike. They dress alike. Two identical beauties. But one of them has the very devil in her.
For you, all pleasures should be supreme.
These are the men they call the Brotherhood.
Seek out the devil worshippers by burning them!
And this is the sister who is about to enter the Devilhood.
Look, what do you see? We are the undead, immortal.
The devil has sent me twins of evil.
Classification. Let's move to classification. This is a vampire, fantasy, horror, witchcraft movie. Longevity, 2023. Takeaway 1971. It is 52 years.
And it just made it.
It just made it. Take it away with exceptionalism.
Well, it's exceptionally sexy. The Collinson twins. Ooh. No, I think I was pleasantly surprised. I had never seen this movie.
Oh wow.
I had never seen.
I was so happy that we elected to do this movie.
Yeah, I had never seen this movie. We were going to do another one, but it turned out to not to meet the longevity criteria. So we decided to do this. I had never seen it, so I had to hurry up and watch it last night. I actually had started watching it earlier and finished watching it last night. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was glad I watched it. I liked it. It is visually a very nice looking movie. It's nice. A lot of it takes place outside, woods, probably dark, properly moody. You know, it reminded me of since I had never seen it. It reminded me of just how much why I love Hammer films.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the detail that they go into, what you see, and then what you hear, right? And the acting and the stories and it just Hammer never got the respect it should have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they made it look too easy.
I think so. Absolutely.
I think Hammer made it look too easy. And so if Hammer had bitched more and spent more money, people would have taken, even though they didn't need to spend more money, they didn't need to
it's all there. I mean, you could see how gorgeous their sets are. Absolutely.
And the quality of the acting. Let me tell you something. Peter Cushing is one of the greatest actors of all time. I just love the movie because it made me fall in love with Hammer all over.
Awesome.
And I think that's exceptional.
You don't even know how happy I am that we were able to talk about this movie. Because, this is one of those movies that I saw when I was 12, 13 years old in the basement with my brother. It's, one of those late night movies. So for me, it has a lot of pleasant memories. This is one of the movies I remember. Just like I told you, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. One of those Hammer movies that you never forget. So you have one good twin, one evil twin. You have these women that have never acted before, and they do an exceptional job.
Oh my God, they blow you away.
And for the sensitive nature, because there's one scene that has been lost to the cutting room floor. Is there's a scene where one of the girls, Frida, strips in front of her uncle, and there's this temptation of Peter Cushing. Now, he's never had a woman strip for him, not on screen.
Well, his characters never had a woman strip for him. His character's a Puritan.
Oh, yes. And so, of course, he's mortified because he's tempted. And in later scenes, he, takes her, his niece. He takes her. He's been taking other women throughout, and they're burning them, the Brotherhood, which is this hugely corrupt organization led by him. So yes, this movie made an impression when I was young. It still makes an impression, not only because of the loveliness of the women, but because like you said, lush setting, atmosphere is incredible. The acting is great. Peter Cushing makes you hate him. How often does that happen? The only time I can remember was Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yes.
That's the only time that I hated him more. So exceptional. Let's go to Paradigm Shift.
Paradigm Shift. Okay. Do you have a paradigm shift?
Yes, I do.
What's your paradigm
It's
shift?
first time twins in a Hammer movie.
Okay.
First time twins. It is the first time twins in a horror movie, which now it's become commonplace.
Right.
First time woman strips for Cushing on screen. Breakout for the Collinson twins, who had done other movies, including they did a walk-on in a porn movie before. But this was their first opportunity to actually have speaking part. So for them, it was absolutely a paradigm shift. in the fact that they were just used to being decoration, background for these, vintage, not porn, but what?
Cheesecake movies.
Yeah, these movies where they're topless.
TNA movies.
So for them, they understood that this was going to be a breakout role. In fact, they were invited to the Tonight Show after this movie to promote this movie.
Wow.
And so now the Tonight Show, for all those of you our younger viewers, was
no, it still is.
It's a late night.
Still on.
Oh, is it?
It's still on.
Okay, so it's a late night television show. Now it was Johnny Carson was there.
When Johnny Carson was the host, it was big news. It was a big thing. To be invited on the Tonight Show was a big thing.
Yes, and for these models from Malta, listen, for them it was like, oh my God, we're going Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then, on top of being invited, they were a hit. They were invited to all these premieres and talks with people. They were so inundated with offers that one of them, Madeline, decided, this is so against our Christian upbringing. I want to go home. And so, being Mary, her twin, they decided to go and they left Hollywood.
After
their breakout role,
making it.
after getting this opportunity to be something other than, citizens of Malta,
models.
Yes, they decided. In fact, one of them became a model agency, was the owner of a model agency, and the other one became the wife of a British officer in the military. So they both led good lives, but not. It just took.
Considering what we're hearing now about Hollywood and how Hollywood really is, maybe this was the best thing for them.
Yeah, maybe it was something. It was too much. They got hit on one too many times.
Casting couch.
And they decided, no, this isn't for us. This isn't what we want.
Was this Peter Cushing's first Hammer villain? Because you can't really call Dr. Frankenstein
a villain.
A villain because he's the main character. He's sort of like an anti-hero. But
I know that that originally he wasn't going to do this movie because his wife was sick.
That was around this time.
This was this time. So he originally had begged off of this movie, but because I don't know if she died after, died and thus freeing him up, or...
No, I don't think so, because he took her death really hard.
I know that. I don't know if he thought, let me be this bad guy because I hate the world right now. I don't know. But, yeah, I know that he originally wasn't going to do it, and then he decided to do it. So
this is his first Hammer film that's a paradigm shift there also. But I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other, but I'm just not sure. Especially since there's so many movies that him and Christopher Lee made that are Hammer-like and not Hammer. I'm not sure what
Hammer adjacent. I know. All right.
I'm just not sure.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for paradigm shift.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, I still think it meets the criteria.
Yes, of course.
All right. Now, last but not least, we have ratings.
Okay, I just want to say. Okay, I want to say what I don't like about this movie. Okay. And then I'll tell you what I do like about this movie.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
I always like to end
we mentioned it
on a positive note. Okay, what I don't like about this movie is it's very well written and the characters are very well crafted, except for the hero who's the romantic lead. For some reason he got the short end of the stick, and I'm not exactly sure why, but I would have liked to have seen more to the hero's arc. Okay, all the other characters are fine. They take the time to establish them, but with the hero, who's the hero, and the romantic lead. They introduce him late, and then it's boom, 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 like establishing the things that he needs, they need to establish for him, because he's going to use this stuff later on. For example, they show right away. They first introduce him as a hunting boar, and then he's the headmaster of the school where he teaches music. But he's also a history teacher and an expert on the occult. And you're like, whoa. Now we need to establish him as the headmaster of the school. Yes. Then the fact that he's the authority on history. Yes. And then the authority on the occult. Yes, but they did it boom, boom, boom. And considering that this movie is an 87-minute movie, you could have taken the time to add a few minutes to the film and do his arc better, and introduce him earlier, and also his relationship with his sister. At first, I didn't realize that woman was his sister. I thought maybe at first that was his wife. So that's my one complaint. That's my sole complaint. And now, what do I like about the movie? The Collinson twins blew me away with their acting. Now, I knew them as the Playboy playmates. To be honest with you, I even had that issue of Playboy. Yes, I had that issue of Playboy. By the way, that's also the centerfold that James Bond steals in On Her Majesty's Secret Service from the lawyer's office. Okay? So if you ever want to watch On Her Majesty's Secrets, he unfolds the centerfold, and you will see the two girls. You know, it's the Collinson twins. So that's how I knew them. So then they come in this movie. The very first scene, they're in the carriage, right? And then they meet up with their aunt, and then they go to their room, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, they can act. They can act. Holy mackerel. And the movie's progressing, and every time they come on the screen, I'm like, wow, they can act. They're believable. They make me believe it. I feel like I'm in the movie. It was perfect. I was blown away by that. So right there, my esteem for the movie went up. Then we have Peter Cushing. Oh my God. For half the movie, Peter Cushing makes us hate him. Hate him. And then he turns around. The same movie, same character. He turns around, and for the last half of the movie, he makes you feel sorry for him. That's acting. That is acting, man. Wow. So, I love this movie. My only complaint is that arc about the hero Anton. That's it. Everything else, I love this movie. So in ratings, I give it 4.5. I'm giving it 4.5 grade geek. I'm only taking off half a grade geek because of that little thing about the roller car. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
It's funny. I love this movie because it's part of my history and part of my nostalgia. Also, it reminds me of my brother. But I marked this as 4 grade geeks initially. However, I'm changing it to 4.5 grade geeks because you convinced me at the Peter Cushing part. Listen,
but isn't he amazing?
I love this movie because it's fun. For the most part, it's fun. Even though it's dark, it's fun.
And that's horrific. Yeah.
I remember this from my youth, so that's another added part. The part that strikes me is that this movie is a vampire movie, and it has all of these liberating aspects, so it's kind of like
It has all these hidden messages.
counterculture, of the Puritans. Look at them. They're shutting everything down. They're trying to. I mean, these women were being burned at the stake for living alone.
For being young, beautiful, unmarried, living alone, and not attending church regularly.
How dare you not come to
Now,
church?
meanwhile, they established that these women's houses are out in the woods. They don't have
They're not in town.
They're not in town. They don't have a horse. They don't have a carriage. That means that in order for them to get to church, they would have to walk, right? Which they do show some of the women walking. That's how they get picked up by the Brotherhood. But none of the Brotherhood said, well, let me ask this woman if she needs a lift or a ride. No, that she's being condemned for not going, because there had to be something wrong with her. She had to be a witch if she's living out in the woods by herself and not attending church regularly. Horrible.
How dare they? 4.5 grade geeks. So absolutely. Again, I was salty because we weren't going to actually use this movie initially.
Right.
And then when we had to, I was like, hey.
Yeah, 'cause I had never seen it. So we were trying to find 3 movies that we had, both of us had seen. But then when it turned out we couldn't use Captain Kronos, then you suggested this one, and we had enough time. I had enough time for me to watch it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, so we had a Sherlock Holmes, which is also the Beastly Freak. We had a vampire movie, and we had a Frankenstein's monster movie. So those were the ones that we wanted to include in our library. So this is why we have.
Yeah, because Hammer was so top heavy with vampires, especially Dracula. Now I don't blame them because this is what was popular.
Yeah, this is what's selling.
Yeah, so I don't blame them going in that direction, but we were trying to show something other than than vampire, and we wanted to include one vampire, but then 2 others that was something else.
And even so, this Twins of Evil is a vampire, but it is, a different take on a vampire, so awesome.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, this movie is more, it's more an anti-fascism, because the Brotherhood is so fascistic. It's almost like an anti-fascism movie, more than a vampire movie.
Yes.
It's appropriate to watch it now.
Yes.
Appropriate to watch it now.
Yeah, definitely. With great pride and respect that we induct
Twins of Evil.
Twins of Evil 1971 as our number 58 movie into our classic video library, Classic Archive Motion Picture Yearbook. Take a bow! All right. Now, we did it again. We have come to the end of another video.
Yay!
So, as always...
And we're going to keep on doing it until we get it right.
Yes. All right. So, that having been said...
Good one. Good one.
There you have it. We've come to the end of another video. We want to ask you to please interact with our post. Comment, like, and share, please. Share this with people who you think might enjoy our silly sense of humor and our geek taste in movies. We say thanks for watching. My name is Louis Matos. I am the Mustache.
I'm Junior Figueroa. I beat the beard.
We say see you later.
Hasta la vista.
Take it easy.
And peace.